Out of every 100 people who buy a prop firm challenge, about 14 pass it. Of those 14, about half ever receive a payout. So roughly 7 out of 100 get paid, and 93 hand money to a prop firm and never see a dollar come back. That number is not from a critic, and it is not from an angry thread on Reddit. It comes from FPFX Tech, the company that builds and runs the back-end software a lot of these firms operate on, published across more than 300,000 accounts, 100,000 traders, and 10 different firms. It is not audited, and it leans forex rather than futures. One futures firm does publish its own, and I want you to have it. Topstep reports that about half its participants reached the funded level, and a third of those received a payout. Multiply those, and about 17 in 100 of their participants were paid something, against the 7 you are about to hear me use. That is kinder than the industry figure, and it is one firm rather than 10. I'm going to keep using the industry number because it is the only source that also tells us how big a payout is. But hold both in your head, and the link is in the description. 14% pass, 7% ever get paid. Now put that next to the sentence every one of those 100 people was told before they paid. The wording changes from firm to firm, but the promise never does. We make money when you make money. We take a cut of your profits, so we are on your side. So let us follow the money and find out whether that is true. 7 traders in 100 receive a payout, and the average payout is about 4% of the account they were given. On a $100,000 plan, that is $4,000 each, so across our 100 buyers, $28,000 flows back to traders, and that is counting one payout each. Some traders take several, so treat that pool as a floor, and every ratio I build on it as a ceiling. $28,000 spread across all 100 of you is $280 a head. But that $28,000 is the trader's money. What the firm earns is only its share of the split. So let us use the split that flatters the firm most, 80-20, where you keep 80 cents of every dollar and the firm keeps 20. For traders to keep $28,000, the profits were $35,000. 28 is 80% of 35, and the firm's 20% of that is $7,000. Now the other side. The average trader spends about $800 on challenges before he is done. 100 traders is $80,000, collected up front whether anyone passes or not. So put the two things the firm actually earns next to each other. $7,000 from being your partner, $80,000 from selling you the exam. That is 11-to-1, using their own numbers and the split most generous to them. At 90-10, which is what a lot of these firms actually advertise, it is closer to 25-to-1. Which means the sentence is not a lie about their intentions. It is a lie about their income statement. They do not make their money when you make money. They make it when you buy. And here is the part most people never think about. You have been picturing the challenge as the thing that happens before the trade. It is the trade. You paid about $800 for a lottery ticket worth about $280. The number we just worked out on their own pass rate and their own average payout. So on average, you booked a $500 loss the moment you clicked buy, before you ever looked at a chart. $500. I know, you risk that before lunch. The size is not the point, the direction is. Nobody showed you it was negative, and average is the kind word for it, because that average is carried by the few who get paid repeatedly. Most of the 100 do not lose 500. They lose all 800. And that is before we talk about how you actually fail. Because you probably think you fail by losing money. You do not. Blowing through the loss limit is the failure everybody expects and prepares for. The one nobody prepares for is a rule. Look at a real evaluation card, not the marketing page. There is a daily loss limit. There is a trailing drawdown. There is usually a consistency rule, saying no single day can be too large a share of your total profit. There are news windows you cannot trade. There are minimum trading days before you can request anything, and a payout schedule with its own conditions. You are not being tested on whether you can trade. You are being tested on whether you can comply with about 9 rules simultaneously, under pressure for weeks. The trailing drawdown deserves its own minute because almost nobody reads it correctly. It starts below your balance and it climbs. And how it climbs is the most expensive detail in the document, because two of the biggest futures firms do it two different ways. At Topstep, it moves on where you close. Finish a day $2,000 up, and your liquidation level comes up $2,000 with you, and it never comes back down. And it keeps climbing until it reaches the balance you opened with. There it locks, permanently. Read what that buys you. From that moment, your floor is your entry price, forever. You keep what you made, but you may never be down on that account again. Not down for the day, down at all. At Apex, it is harsher, and this is the one to check before you pay, because it is the opposite. Apex follows your highest balance in real time, unrealized profit included. So run $2,000 up at lunch and give it back by the bell. At Topstep, nothing happened, and at Apex, your liquidation level came up with the spike and stayed there. You did not make $1, and you are $2,000 closer to being out. So the thing you bought is not a trading job. It is a compliance exam with a fee attached, and the fee is where their revenue lives. And there is one more number worth having, because this one is a futures firm's own disclosure rather than anybody's estimate. Topstep publishes trader performance statistics. In their 2025 figures, of the people trading an express funded account, which is the account you get after you pass, 0.71% were called up to a live funded account. That is Topstep's account that trades real capital. 7 in 1,000. That is not an accusation, and I am not adding anything to it. It is their own published number, and it is the sharpest future-specific figure in this video. They published it, which is more than most firms do. Now, there is a far more serious claim than anything the arithmetic makes, and I want to be careful with it, because it was never proven, and because no futures prop firm has ever faced anything like it. In September of 2023, the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission sued a large forex prop firm. The complaint quoted that firm's own marketing back at it. "Your success is our business. We only make money when you do," and then alleged something quite different. It alleged that the firm itself, not any outside liquidity provider, was the counterparty to substantially all customer trades, meaning when a trader won, the firm was the one paying. It went further. The complaint alleged the firm actively minimized the chance that customers traded profitably, terminating accounts on pretexts, charging commissions that quietly ate account equity, and secretly running software that filled customer orders at worse prices than the customer saw when he pressed the button. The regulator's own phrase for the people this was aimed at was, and I am quoting, "the extremely small number of successful customers." By then, more than 135,000 people had signed up, paying at least $310 million in fees. And then the case fell apart. In May of 2025, a federal judge dismissed it with prejudice, which means it cannot be refiled. Not because the firm disproved anything, because the regulator misled the court. A special master found the agency had made false representations and acted willfully and in bad faith on several occasions, and the agency was sanctioned more than $3 million. The thing that broke it was a payment of 31.5 million Canadian dollars, which the CFTC told a judge had gone into an unidentified personal account. It had gone to the Canada Revenue Agency. It was a tax payment. So the most serious allegation ever made against that one forex firm was never tested, and now it never will be. Nobody was found liable. And to be clear, because it matters, that case was about one forex firm, and nothing like it has been brought against a futures prop firm. Anyone who tells you it proved prop firms are fraudulent is lying to you in the other direction. But notice that it does not matter for your decision. The arithmetic never needed a courtroom. Whatever is or is not happening behind the platform, the fee revenue still dwarfs the split revenue. 7 in 100 still get paid, and your $800 still buys a $280 expectation. So here's what to actually do, and none of it requires trusting me. Price the bet before you take it. Payout probability times average payout times plan size minus what you expect to spend on attempts. Run it with the industry's numbers, then ask the firm for theirs. Find out whether your funded account is real or simulated and who is on the other side of your fills. A simulated account is not a scam. Several of the largest futures firms say plainly in their own terms that their funded accounts are simulated, and that is perfectly lawful. What matters is whether they tell you clearly. It is in their terms, and if it is not clearly in their terms, that is your answer. Read every disqualifying rule before you pay, and if you cannot list them from memory, you are not ready to buy, because those rules are the actual product. And ask one question that cuts through everything. Not how much have you paid out in total, which is unfalsifiable marketing, but how many payouts divided by how many accounts sold. Every firm knows that number. Almost none will publish it. The refusal is the data. One honest thing to end on. Firms do pay. 7% is not zero. Real people do get real money, and if I told you nobody ever gets paid, I would be the one lying to you. The point is not that it is impossible. The point is that you were sold a partnership and handed a lottery ticket, and you were never shown the odds on the back. The reason that matters is that the failures that surprise people here are rule breaches under pressure, not market calls gone wrong. That narrow problem is the one thing our own tool watches. Meridian sits on your platform and checks what you are doing against the rule you set for yourself, live, and speaks up the moment the two stop matching. It is one way to keep a compliance exam from being decided by your worst 20 minutes. It is not the only way, and nothing in this video depends on it. If this was useful, the video on the top left takes apart every prop firm rule line by line. And the one on the top right is about what is really happening when your stop gets hit. That is really the whole channel. Take the thing everybody repeats, go and find out what the numbers actually say about it, and hand it back to you in a form you can check yourself. The sources for everything in this one are on screen now, and they are in the description too, so you do not have to take my word for any of it. If that is worth your time, subscribe, and I will see you in the next